Yeah.
Hey, starting to get more regular with this thing.
We got one today.
Yeah.
You know the word yet?
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make the plan. Knowing my mother getting
track.
over home from the family.
Track.
Hey, we,
I like that.
Hey, we ain't never shot on the Monday. That's what you
I like that.
I give it all to this fucking mic stand.
Okay.
If it's been done before, then I know I can.
Okay.
I'm on the rise, I'm trying to keep a level head.
Let's get it. Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jelon.
It's your boy, the WallStreet Trapper.
And this is another episode of the #1 podcast in Los Angeles.
Yes, sir.
Nice and neat. And as you can see, we have an incredible guest today. And I will go out and say, when we talking about this financial literacy thing, I'm putting him on the Rushmore when it's all said and done, and we look back and we be like, yo, who helped out the most, who gave back the most, who contributed to our families the most. We're going to talk about this man right here, WallStreet Trapper. Let's give it up for him, man. Let's give it up for Trap. Hey, welcome, Trap. Welcome, Trap.
Yes, sir.
Listen, that was heavy right there, man. I thank y'all for having me. Definitely just honored to be here, man, and I'm ready to just serve y'all audience, man. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Man, my man Trap, we're gonna go back a little bit before we get into your story.
Okay.
We're just gonna go back to just 2020.
Okay.
We're gonna go back to 2020 where there was a lot of financial fear outside of the other fear that was going on, but a lot of financial fear that was going on. And man, I would say that you were in every one of our homes. You were in our homes, you were giving us game, you were giving us education, you were dropping gems, you were giving actual tangible information that we could go and implement right then and there. And I want to know, man, where did you get that desire to help others? Because it's one thing to go ahead and just be like, yo, I could do this thing on my own. But where did you get that desire to just be like, I need to help my people?
So, just coming up from New Orleans, I realized there's a thread that went through every hood, no matter if you was in New Orleans, Atlanta, LA, and it was lack of information what led to generational poverty, right? Generational, like, lack of opportunities, right? And so I realized that while I was in prison, I got turned on to the stock market. And so I was like, yo, these people making money without risking their life. That was a game changer for me, just in everything I had going on, because all I knew how to do was leverage my life or my freedom to get some money. And so the people around me, they only know how to work more jobs, sell more time to get more money, while you looking at people get billions and millions of dollars just sitting back reading. I'm like, yo, they playing a different game from us. They got a different blueprint than us. So when the pandemic happened in 2020, I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity for us to increase our network. This is the perfect opportunity for us to build wealth. I don't care what it is, you can increase your purchasing power. And so I realized, we got financial trauma though, because 2008, we wasn't aware of what to do when the markets crash, real estate crash. But if you go through history, that's when people increase their net worth. They triple their net worth while we begging for jobs, while we trying to depend on the government to save us. So I'm like, this is the time for us. So just for me coming from the hood, coming from New Orleans, I was like, I'm going to get mine regardless. The problem is everybody where we come from, we won't get the information and we won't hold on to it, right? Like I've learned I'm going to hold on to it, but how can we truly see progress? How can we truly change my name? How can I get tired of seeing you go to prison? How can I get tired of seeing my homies go to prison? How can I get tired of seeing shorties I know prostitute, real talk, strip club, what can I do to change that? So, all right, I'm going to just get the information. I'm going to put it out there every day, all day. And during the pandemic, I was like, I'm going to double down on it. Like, I'm going to go on YouTube twice a day. If everybody putting out one piece of content on Instagram, I'm going to put out 3. I'm going to go live 3-4 times a day. Whoever going to take it, they going to take it, and they going to change with it. Whoever not going to take it, I can't do nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was just in me in that moment, I was like, let me just double down on it. And nobody else ain't doing it. Let me be the one to do it.
Yeah. Did you ever have, I want to say fears, but did you ever have any doubts of how you were packaging it, right? Did you ever think about, hey, look, I know how to tell this message, but the only way I know how to tell this message is if I speak the way I speak to my audience, right? Did you ever question like, yo, like, is it going, are they going to receive it, or are people going to talk about how did that thought process go?
So when I looked at, this is dope right here. So when I looked at everybody who was telling the story, when I look at the Warren Buffetts, when I look at Joel Greenblatt, Robert Kiyosaki, when I look at everybody doing it the textbook way. But when you sit back and think about it, that's why we not getting it. There's no relatability there. You know what I'm saying? But for me, honestly, the way that I learned how to invest, the way I learned the stock market, the way I learned just finances, economics, I compared it to the streets. Everything. So prime example, in the streets, there's this thing like always have re-up money. Like never spend your re-up money. You always got to have money to get some more product. Well, same thing with investing. You always got to have more money to invest with. Never spend your investing money. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? In economics, there's this thing called tariffs. So tariffs is when one country has to pay another country taxes for come in, sell product, import, export in that country. Well, in the street, that ain't nothing but paying draft. If you want to come hustle in my neighborhood and I don't know you, you got to pay me some draft, yo. You got to pay me to hustle over here. That's tariffs. So for me, I was like, you know what? If I can break this language down, if I can make this make sense to them the same way it made sense to me, I'm going to help more people than I'm going to hurt. And I'm willing to take that. Like, you got to be willing to sacrifice. Like, you got to know everybody ain't going to always get it, but the ones who get it, they going to run with it. Because all we need is that spark.
Because I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, even just hearing a lot of investment financial jargon, it's intimidating if you're not familiar with it, right? Not only is it intimidating, the shit boring. Right? So you know, us, we want to be entertained. We want to be entertained. So if we're not entertained by what you're saying, you're not going to be able to keep our attention. If you can't keep our attention, you can't teach us. Right? So that's real important.
And it's designed that way.
My bad. What was it about the pandemic that made you feel like we had such an opportunity? And what was that opportunity?
So when you go back to all the crashes in the world, all of the recessions from the 2008 recession, you go to the dot-com bubble, that is how wealthy people increase their wealth significantly. It's buying assets at the lowest prices, which is another street term. You make more money in a drought. Like, if you from the street, you know that. If you from the street, you know that. Like, you make more money in a drought. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is easy work right here. So what kind of differentiated me from a lot of people was I never had a fear of making or losing money. Right? So when you in the street, you understand that. And I don't want to keep bringing that up, but that's always my reference point. Right? So in the street, you understand that, yo, if you don't got bail money, if you don't got lawyer money, so even though that's not a loss, you got to put money up for that. But what happens if the police kick your door in? Well, you lose that product. What happens if somebody hits your stash? You lose that product. What happens if you get robbed? You lose that money. So my association with losses wasn't like the normal person working a 9 to 5. I know the losses come with the game. So that never scared me, losing money. And in my mind, honestly, I was like, yo, if I'm gonna just lose some money and I ain't gotta lose my freedom of my life, it's a cakewalk for me. It's a cakewalk for me because I'm gonna go get some money. You feel me? So just to get back to that, I understood that in order to build wealth, you gotta know where it came from. You gotta know the history of it. You gotta understand how did the people before you consistently build wealth, whether they was white, black, whatever. When was the perfect time? And so there's always a familiarity with that process. It's always during the greatest downturns in America that the wealthy people of America have significantly increased their wealth. So I'm like, I bet I've been waiting for a recession since, mind y'all, come home in 2008. But because I was hustling, I didn't feel the recession like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel it like everybody else felt it. So while people were struggling, I'm still selling weed. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? And so it didn't make a difference if people still wanted to smoke. Right? So
different type of recession,
it was a
too.
different.
Recession-proof.
It was different for me. So I ain't feel it. Fast forward when 2020 come, I'm now aware of it though. Because now I'm locked into financial literacy. I'm locked into investing. I had already been putting my hustle money in the market. So I'm like, yo, when the market dip, when the market go down heavy, like I'm gonna unload everything I got. I got money sitting here, just like me waiting on in the streets. I'm waiting to catch a case, right? Like, so when the case come, lawyer money, bond money,
Here you go.
Same mindset.
Just putting it aside for that.
I'm ready for it. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, we investing, but whenever it comes, I'm gonna dump it. And so when the recession came, when the pandemic hit, I remember I was on internet, I was like, yo, check this out, y'all. go buy Chipotle, like go buy United Rentals, go buy these, because I'm already doing the research. We got Chipotle at $4.25. Thing ran up to $1,900. That's a quick lick for you.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it was understanding that on Black Friday when we go to Walmart, this was our Black Friday. This was the Black Friday for people trying to build wealth. And so the goal was me being able to help people understand that. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you can help them understand that, you got to show it to us.
Yeah. Hey, take us through your story. Take us through your story. Give us a quick synopsis, because we want to get to some other stuff.
Yep.
Let our audience know just your whole background and how you even got to this point.
So born and raised in New Orleans. At 9, I saw my mom's get shot, maybe like 100 yards away from me. She got shot 6 times. She's still here, so I'm thankful for that. Amen. Thankful for that, man. But that exposed me to some violence firsthand. Like, I seen it, I understood it, and I didn't realize what that did to me internally. Later on, saw my mama shoot somebody. She went to prison for it. She came home, and then she just started dealing with her demons. But her demons, I inherited them. And so at 16, I went to prison for attempt murder. But my mama passed that. My mama went to prison when I was 14. My grandmother passed. I wound up being homeless for a period of my time. And it wasn't because my family didn't love me. They just ain't had no room for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, everybody poor, everybody coming up. But it's hard to bring in another mouth. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that we don't love you. We just don't got the room. You know what I'm saying? So I was homeless for a period of my time. I went to prison at 16 for attempt murder. That's when I got introduced to the stock market.
Now, that when you went to 16, you was in for 10.
Yep.
Okay.
So I did 10 years for attempt murder on robbery. And while I was in prison, man, I always say everything happens to us for a reason. So when I was in prison, this white guy, he just came to me. I went in a cell with him, and he was like, bro, y'all just playing the wrong game. And
why did he pull you in the cell?
Well, he didn't. So I wound up going in a cell with him. So it was a 4-man cell.
Okay.
But it's crazy because this is a 2-man cell. So it was mama just being me and him. And so I'm kind of frustrated. At this time, I'm like 17. I'm heated because me and my homies just had a fight literally from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 of them in the cell and me. So I'm just fighting them back to back. And so I go to the cell. I'm kind of bust up. You know what I'm saying? I'm angry. And I don't know, I guess he was just disappointed. I don't know what the hell he had going on in his head. He was just like, bro, y'all, I guess he was disgusted. He was like, bro, y'all playing the wrong game, man. And for me, I was like, what you talking about?
You ready for another phase?
I'm ready for another phase. Bro, like, I couldn't beat all 3 of them, but I would take you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the way he came at me, like, he was like, man, look, I don't mean no disrespect, bro, but y'all ain't tired of this? So I don't even care what type of ignorance you got going on. When somebody hits you with some real talk, you kind of like settle down. Like, you like, what? And so in prison, I had a red band on in New Orleans. That's attempt murder on robbery. He had a white and red band on, which is a felony charge. And kind of, when you see somebody with a felony band on in jail, you kind of put them at like a hierarchy. You know something more than me. You put them there. So I just started listening to him. He was like, yo, like, it's not even about that. He was like, yo, check this. And this was a game changer for me. He was like, man, what you in here on? I see you got that on, so you either facing 99 years life or something. So I'm telling him like attempt murder. So he like, all right, let's say you get 15, 20 years, 10 years. He like, bro, how much money have you made doing that? And I was like, shit, not a lot. He was like, bro, I'm in here, I'm about to do 18 months for embezzlement, $2.8 million, pay $800,000 restitution. I still keep $2 million. And before you finish that time, I'll be back home with my family. Bro, that was a game changer for me.
Wow.
It blew my mind. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do what you doing.
I didn't learn that.
I want to learn that. But he was like, nah, it ain't about that, bro. Like, you just got to play the game different. And so that's when he introduced me. He was like, listen, you got to learn about assets. He was like, wealthy people learn how to give value to people. They stop trading time for money. They learn how to make their money work for them. They get stocks. They get a business. Then they do real estate. So that planted the seed in my head. The rest of my 10 years, yo, that's what I was on.
Yeah. I mean, you young, too. So
I'm 17 at the time.
It's crazy to digest at that
Yeah. But it was a reality check for me.
Yeah.
Because everybody I knew, what we called a lot of money, I can't recall nobody I knew that can say they made $2.8 million. I don't care what you doing.
Never heard that before.
And it's different when you see it. So the one thing about being in prison is you can say what you want to say, but when you show it to me in black and white, I can't deny it.
I got you.
When you show me 2.8 million, 800 restitution, you like, oh.
You ain't never seen that before.
Oh, I've never even seen 2.8 million, let alone wrote on a piece of paper. I'm like, oh, and this a U.S. United States government paper, so this factual.
So, and at that moment did you guys like progressively continue to get game from him, or he just dropped that and you was like, let me go ahead and take it?
Nah, so we stayed in a cell together for 90 days. And so for 90 days, bro, he just, man, I ain't gonna lie, that's probably some of the best conversation I ever had in my life. But then he was backing it up with like pictures. So this is before Instagram, this is 99, bro.
Yeah.
So you can lie about something when you start showing this Photoshop not around at this time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So he's sending me pictures, and this the picture that stuck in my head, and till this day I haven't went there, but I'm gone. He showed me a picture of him in Iceland, and I would never forget this picture. In any interview I'm on, I always say it. He is outside in a pool or in a lake, and there's steam coming from behind him, and he got champagne, and they got mountains behind him. So I said, bro, like, where you at? I'm like, that's steam? He was like, yeah, the water like 80 degrees. I'm like, it's 80 degrees and they got mountains behind you? Mind you, I'm 16. I ain't never left New Orleans.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, like, what is that? He was like, well, this is Iceland.
It's Iceland. Come on.
I'm like, that's a real place?
It's a real place.
Bro, I'm not even much lying. Like, mind you, so people think about it now from a bigger perspective, but bro, when all you know is the hood, when all you know is like leave New Orleans, is like, leave New Orleans, why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like me leaving, I'm more about survival than leaving New Orleans at 16. So bro, when I saw that kind of like, I was like, oh, there's a world outside of New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not to mention he's showing me him skiing and pictures on yachts and stuff, but it was something about that defied gravity to me. How can you be outside in the cold? I'm looking at the snow. I'm looking at the mountains. How can they have steam coming from that lake? I know that's a lake. That's not a pool. That's not a jacuzzi. That's a lake. That's a God man-made. That's a God. God made that. There's no way that's not a swimming pool.
That's funny.
You feel me? And he got champagne.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yep.
At 16, bro, like I was gone. I was like, oh, I'm getting chill bumps, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me somewhere that you can only read in a book.
Yeah.
Yo, you kind of answered this basically with that answer there, but I know I've never been to prison, right?
You don't want to go.
I don't want to go, but I could imagine if I ever found myself in that place, it would be pretty hard to trust somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Now I know he was showing you the pictures, but even just taking it a step further, did you find it odd at any point that this white man was sharing so much information with you?
Nah, he didn't pose a threat to me.
He didn't pose a threat.
Nah.
So if he posed a threat, it would make you think twice about the information he was sharing.
Well, the thing about prison is, and I don't want to get too like you navigate a certain way. Like men know men.
Yeah. I got you.
Men know men.
Yep.
Right? I'm 16, but I'm a man child.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I probably ain't the best fighter, but I'm a scratch.
Yep.
So don't nobody pose no threat to me like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was such a relief, bruh. Like, and he had my attention.
Yep.
Like, cause he's showing me something none of my OGs ever showed me. My OGs talked to me about respect. My OGs talked to me about how to handle myself. My OGs talked to me how to talk to women a certain way. But my OGs couldn't tell me nothing no further than what they done.
Sometimes your OGs don't know what's
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. All they know, they done grew up in this. This is traditional gangster stuff going on right here. We talking about somebody who daddy been a gangster, somebody grandma been a prostitute, somebody ran numbers. This generationally. My grandmother went to federal prison. My mama went to prison. I'm in prison.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this generational, like, you ain't just the first person to go to prison.
Right.
Right?
You know, Trap, I really enjoy how open you are with information.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me now how open you are with information, because your cellmate, he showed you something to where you like, okay, I want that. I didn't know I want that, but I want that. So whatever you tell me now, that's what I'm gonna do, because I want that. And I feel like when we're in this phase of financial literacy, it's off of the importance to be able to see you doing it specifically.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well, he looked like me.
Yep.
And he got the stuff that I want.
Yep.
So I want that. So I want to know, in that space, when you just kind of like, I know that I'm a figurehead in this space now. How do you approach the youth when you're talking about finances right now?
So, man, that's so amazing because I just did a tour with Eric Thomas.
Ooh,
nice.
Love
You know what I'm
ET.
saying? And, man, I'm going to be real, man. Like, I truly feel like God, I'm not the most religious man in the world, but I believe in God heavy. So right now I'm even fasting, not just from sex, from everything. I haven't had alcohol since 2018, haven't smoked weed since 2018, but now I'm like, yo, I don't even want to have sex right now in my life, right? Because I believe that God is doing something in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? I done survived gunshot wounds. I done survived so much. Almost kidnapped, bro. I done survived so much. So I always say, yo, I want to go back to prison and talk. So I wound up going on a tour with Eric Thomas, and watching him navigate helped me. And we did a prison, and then we did a school too on a journey. We didn't even get paid for it, which I told ET don't even pay me. The experience is what I love. But the relatability, the being able to say, check this, yo, I've been through what you've been through. And what happens is it's the details that young people understand that everybody not gonna give them, right? It's saying, so when we went to prison, for example, I'm in a prison, and I was like, how many of y'all came up here just to get out of the cell? How many of y'all right now got y'all clothes under the mattress, folded, in the creases in them, you put them on when you go to visit? To the average person, that may not seem like nothing. But for somebody in prison, you like, yup.
He get it.
He get it. Mm-hmm. Like, how many of y'all, every time you hit a door slam, you jump? Yup. He get it. How many of y'all just wash your drawers, your t-shirts, your socks, and your sheet in the toilet because you had to get the soap from the cleanup man in the hall, and then right after that, your cellie used the bathroom in that. And now the dude's like, damn, he been here. He get it. So now when I talk, that's prisons, but when I navigate to the youth, you start telling them stuff like, yo, check this out. How many of y'all got a Gucci bag? How many of y'all got Louis Vuitton? How many of y'all got Fendi? Yep, all y'all got that? Check this out, y'all. It's on the stock market. Mm-hmm. The Fendi bag you got, it probably cost you $2,000, but the stock costs $199. What we doing here? I ain't tripping on you wearing it, but let's own it too, right? So it's coming at them from a surface level. Like one time we try to prove to people how smart we are, that they don't care about that. Make it relatable. Make me feel it. All right, check this, y'all. How many of y'all don't renew the iPhone every year? Bet, check this out. It ain't nothing but $150 to own the stock. So before you, next time, let the iPhone go get you 10 shares of the iPhone, and then you upgrade next year. Oh, that makes sense to me now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all on Facebook all day, every day. Y'all on Instagram all day, every day. Yo, go own that right quick, y'all. Before you even get on there, go let it make some money for you right quick. So I think for me, it's always been, when I'm talking to young people or younger adults, making it more relatable to them than trying to go depth on the language, trying to show them how smart I am. Like, make them have the epiphany moment, like, oh, damn, that makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I remember I was talking to some young boys, and I was like, yo, how many of y'all out here not having safe sex? They was like, man, come on, Trap, don't do that. I was like, check this out. There's a company called Church and Dwight. They make magnums. They made, you know what I'm saying? They was like, oh. I'm like, I bet, own that, fam. You know what I'm saying? So own the condoms that you're supposed to be using, bro. So,
supposed to be
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, just making it relatable because we don't understand how in our face the stock market is, right? So it's being able to touch them on a surface level.
I think part of it, though, is we think that, you said, oh, the iPhone, $150 in the stock market. We think that $150 is not going to do nothing for us, right? So we can't get a grip of stocks, then it's pointless.
Yeah.
So what do you say to people that kind of approach it like that?
So my thing is always start small. It's not what you start at, it's building it. So I always say 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8, 8 turns to 16, 16 turns to 32. We're not going to get rich overnight, but we ain't become poor overnight. Right? right? That's generationally. Your mama was poor, your daddy was poor, your grandmother was poor, your great-grandmother was poor, somebody was on welfare. So this is gonna happen overnight. I just want you to build wealth one share at a time. That's my mission statement. Build wealth one share at a time so you can be the last person to get it out the mud. Everybody behind you can get it out the market, whatever that looks like. So it's maximizing our money and letting them understand that start with a little and you can build up compound interest. Keep building, keep doing it. You start, if you make $100 a day, that's $100 that you ain't have before, right? You know what I'm saying? That's $100 you ain't have to break your back for, right? And so and that's a hard concept.
Yeah.
It's hard for us because
Patience is a motherfucker, man.
tangibility. Because if I'm telling you, even my homies in the street, they ain't get it in the beginning. They get it now, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't understand, bro, I'm not about to do that. I won't spend my money now. You tell them, well, all right, what happened? So this how I got my homies in the street. I say, bro, we know we gonna go to jail. We know we gonna get killed. That's part of the game. But what happens when you don't leave your kid nothing? What happens when you come home off that bed and you ain't got no money? Now you looking for me to front you. You looking for somebody to give you some money. Well, check this out, bro. If you put the money in the stock market right now, guess what? If you go lay down, you come home, you still got that money. That money done work for you for 5 years. That money done work for you for 10 years. That was an epiphany for them. That was like, damn, that makes sense, bro. Yeah, that makes sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's being able to shape the conversation in a way where it makes sense to us, man.
So you didn't tell nobody what to do.
Nah.
Yeah. Like as far as like get out of the street, you didn't tell nobody what to do. So you said something that was interesting to me. You said, you know, your parents was broke, grandparents was broke, grandparents was broke, and obviously you've never had conversations with your grandparents about being broke or having money or what that looks like. So now, when we're talking about family, what are conversations are you having with your children, your future children, and like, what's your relationship with money?
So I had to break that barrier. So one of the things I just did was Memorial Day last year, I rented a vacation home in Florida. First of all, I'm just thankful to be able to do this. So it was like one of these 14-bedroom homes. My family, they ain't been in nowhere like that before. So you go in and everybody got their own room. There's a bowling alley in there. There's a jacuzzi. There's a pool. There's a movie theater. So I brung them there. We had a chef. And for the first 2 days, everybody just had fun. The third day, yo, come here. Everybody sit down. We about to talk about money. We about to talk about financial literacy. I posted it on my page, it went viral. What happens is you gotta wrap the medicine in candy, right? Like, I can't get us on a Zoom call and talk about money. That ain't gonna work. I gotta make them feel it. I gotta make them see it. I gotta put them in a new environment. I gotta let them start saying, wait.
I want this.
I want this.
I need this.
You feel me? This one part of my family that was in there, they've been in the same 2-bedroom house for like 10, 20 years. Like 2 sisters sleeping in the bed together. Then they got 2 twin beds. You know what I'm saying? So when they see this, they're like, wait, hold up. I can have a room with a bathroom in it? Wait, this different. Cuz got me we got a chef here? I can get whatever I want out the icebox? And so once you make it real to them, now they willing to have a conversation. So we sat down, and one of the things I asked my cousins was, I was like, look, check this out. How many of y'all, I said, y'all saw y'all mama been working 2 jobs all y'all life. I said, question, how has y'all life changed since you saw it? She been working 2 jobs since y'all was babies. 2 of y'all done graduated from high school, 1 of y'all done graduated from college.
Nothing changed.
How has y'all life changed? I was like, none. Bet. So let me give y'all something that the world ain't teaching y'all. Working 2 jobs and busting your ass ain't gonna get you this right here. It ain't gonna get you this. Working 2 jobs ain't gonna get you this.
Just gonna keep exchanging your time for money.
And so that was like, all right, well, how do we get it? All right, cool, let me show you. Do you want this? Yes, we do want this. Okay, tell me what you're doing with your money when you get it. But I'm buying shoes and I'm buying, bet, you know what I do when I get my money? 70% of it, I invest it. I live off 30% of it. Y'all willing to do that? You willing to sacrifice to get here? And what makes it real is because they've watched me do it. That's the thing that hurts our people. We need to see it working.
For sure.
Don't try to beat me down because I ain't doing what you want me to do, but it ain't working for you.
Word.
Y'all need to be investing. You need to be saving your money. All right, bro, is it working for you?
Yeah.
Man, don't tell me to do that, man. Right? So that's what happened. Even with my homies in the street, they ain't take the shift until they saw it working for me. So with my family, that's what I do now. With my daughter, as soon as she was born, when she made one, instead of me opening up a bank account, I opened up a custodial account. So now I started investing in stocks for her since she was 1. Right now, she got over $400,000 in that.
Okay, hold on. Break that down. I don't know what a custodial account is.
All right, cool. So a custodial account is an account that you, as the father, as the mother, as an uncle, can open up for the child, right? And you are the custodian. So you monitor and you make the investments in the account, and the child doesn't take over the account till they're 18.
I got you.
Or in some states, 21.
Okay.
Right? But what happens now is there's the 529 plan that's only for college and education. Okay. With the custodial account, it's for whatever. Right? So I started doing that for my daughter when she was 1. Yo, she got, I think, 450, 475 in there right now. My goal was like, yo, I just need to make her a millionaire before she's 15. I'm good. We halfway there. But for her birthdays and for Christmas, I made a sacrifice. I was telling her mom, I was like, listen, you can get the toys. I ain't tripping on that. We gonna buy stocks over here on my end. And so once my daughter made 3, I started telling her ABCs in stocks. A is for asset, B is for bank, C is for credit, E is for equity, F is finances. So we wrote it out. So that's how she learned her ABCs from me. You know what I'm saying? And so started saying the ABCs, making her understand the definitions, just giving her image for money, making her start to understand, okay, you know what I'm saying, what this is. So for her birthday, what I would do is, and this was one of the most pivotal moments in my life, man, I promise you, for her birthday, I would buy stocks for her. And I would say, you know, you own Disney, so we're gonna buy Disney. When she made 6, she's 7 now. When she made 6, I was like, what you want for your birthday, Stain? She was like, Daddy, can I own Roblox? I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I took the account, went to her thing. I was like, how many shares you want? She was like, 30. I put 30 in. She was like, no, give me 100. I was like, bet. 100. It wasn't about what Roblox stock did. Yep. It was about getting her familiar with understanding, yo, let me do this with my money. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that was truly the conversation with my daughter. And that was a game changer for me and my family.
I got a testy question for you.
Yep.
How you look at money within relationships?
So I believe that money is important. Let me say this first. Man, I'm still healing from my own trauma of not ever seeing a healthy relationship until I got older, which is why I truly love what y'all doing, man. I tell you that all the time, bro. So I'm learning how to function with women, you know, how to build. I'm learning that, right? So what I do know is a lot of relationships I've seen that break up is a lot of times it's money issues, right? So if the money ain't right, it's easy to have an argument about the other stuff. Yeah. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You ain't open the door for me. Where'd that come from? Well, we ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no money.
That's crazy.
That's great.
Yo, this shit be coming out of it.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Hey, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, where'd that come from? What you doing with your money? You coming, you bought some chips, you ain't buy me nothing. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I realized, you know, money is a foundation. So we got to get the money right. So I believe that a man and a woman should be, when you enter a relationship, like we should know where we at financially. And it shouldn't be, don't ask me what I got. If we can't have this open conversation about money, we probably can't build.
Why do you think that though? Why do you think people are so just taboo and closed off
because
about something that we all know we want and we know is going to benefit us?
So let's get back to the financial trauma, right? So financial trauma so lack of money is not the issue. Lack of money is a symptom to a deeper problem. So we think about this. If you got a runny nose, that's
just the result.
You know what I'm saying? You got a cold or you got something. So we got to get to the problem so we can stop the runny nose. Yeah. Right? So it's not that you just got a lack. You got a lack of money for a reason. One, you got bad spending habits. Let's just start right there. One, you probably spending more money on bills. You got more month left than money every month. Yep. That's a problem, right? You buying unnecessary stuff. That's a problem, right? So what happens is we've never seen our parents talk about money, but we've always seen them emotionally respond to not having enough money.
I got you. Okay, it's always negative.
You feel me?
Yep.
Like, we ain't never seen them say, I'm broke, but we saw when the bills come, that cringe. Yep. We saw that when you go in that store, don't ask me for nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Money. We saw that. There ain't no way around that. We saw our parents get aggressive with us. I just want a Snicker bar. What the hell you talking about? Why I gotta get slapped upside the head and all that? For don't touch nothing. I told you, you know what I'm saying? That's money issues. But on the reverse side, even though we had money issues, we also saw our parents go deep in the hole for Christmas for us. We saw our parents do whatever we had to do to get us the gift we wanted. So then what happens is when we got older, we start associating, okay, it's okay to spend unnecessary money on birthdays. It's okay to spend unnecessary money on Christmas. It's okay to take this vacation that I don't really need, that I can't really afford, but I need a reprieve from me not making enough money because this is stressing me the hell out. I'm going to work every day. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm doing whatever I can do. I'm looking for a quick hustle, but yeah, I still can't get ahead.
That's a fact.
This is financial trauma. So now I don't want to talk to my man about no money. Nigga, don't ask me about no money. I don't want to talk to my girl about no money. You see me busting my ass going to work. Don't ask me about no money. The bills paid, huh? All right, leave me alone then. You feel me? So this is never a conversation that can be had in comfort. And then as a man, one thing we've been taught is our power as men is how much money we make. How much money I bring home.
And if we talking about it, we talking about the lack of, we feel like we don't have that power. We feel
I don't got that power. And watch this. If you look in relationships in our community, this may not be for everybody, but the man who ain't making no money, man, that woman talking to him crazy. She talking to him crazy. Get your broke ass out of here. What you talking about? You ain't got no money anyway. You don't do nothing for me, right? But she get that because she's seen what? Her mama, her parents, her friends, they talking to their pa who ain't bringing no money in. You know what I'm saying? So this should be generationally, bro. And even though it ain't talked about, you don't gotta talk about certain things.
To understand it.
I can see it.
For sure.
So now it becomes a taboo conversation in the household. And if we don't ever break that, we can't never transition to the next level. And that's what hinders us. Because when you go to other ethnic groups, we have a money conversation early. I don't care what you want to be in life. This what you gonna do. This the money you gonna. I had an Indian friend, and he was like, his brother and both of his brothers and his sisters all became doctors. And he was like, yo, it's pressure on me to be a doctor. I was like, why? He was like, bro, because I don't become a doctor, I'm a failure in my family. I was like, ooh, that's crazy. Nigga, we survive. We good over here. You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think that's why, for me, again, you got to know the history of money, and you got to understand how people before you were successful with money. So it ain't me trying to be white. It ain't me trying to be Spanish. It ain't me trying to be Asian. But what I want to go do is say, yo, what made them generationally understand money, and why the hell I don't?
Yeah, so let me ask you this. So when it comes to dating women, all right, you personally, what are your non-negotiables as it pertains to how they manage money?
So I think now that I'm learning, I understand that you're going to meet women and men that have financial deficiencies, right? So for me, it's, do you care more about looking fly, or do you care more about having money or building wealth? And if you don't know, see, this is the non-negotiable for me. If you don't know, are you going to allow me to teach you?
Right. That was my next question, because you are a teacher, and how much of that do you give to women that you're not even? I'm talking about casually dating. How much of that do you give, or do you have to be exclusive with a woman to give her that intellectual resource?
Hell no, man. Like, I'm always in teacher mode, because even if I'm just if we dating, or if I'm my goal is I'm gonna teach you, because I'm not gonna pivot from who I am. And if me talking about, and I've had women do this, like when I'm talking about money, And investing, I'm challenging you. Like I was dating one female maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, and all she talked about was like buying shoes, and she was but she was handling her business. But I was like, yo, how much money you invest? She was like, invest? What? Psh, nigga. Don't bring that. Keep that. She was like, man, keep that on Instagram.
Yo.
Wow. I was like, all right.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, bet. All right.
All right, cool.
Because I'm about what I'm about.
Yeah.
And I live it. So if I go make some money, I'm showing you like, yo, check the account out. Yo, look, I'm open with that. Yo, look, what's up? You want me to teach you? I'll get to it. You can't do it for me? No. Nope, I can't do it for you. I can teach you. I can be here for you. But I'm also willing to learn, right? Because she was in business. So like, yo, teach me what you got going on. I'm going to teach you what I got going on. And that ain't your thing. I ain't mad at you. I'm probably just not the person for you. So I'm going to always be in teacher mode. Like I'm going to always check you for some stuff you're not doing right financially, right? Because it's a reflection of me. Because I pride myself, because I now am in tune, I pride myself with making right fight. I ain't going to make all the right decisions in the world. Yeah. But financial decisions, I'm going to make the right one 8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always in teacher mode. So for me with women, if you don't know, I ain't tripping on that. If you're not willing to learn, that's the non-negotiable.
Yeah. So you say you grew up not really having that example to look to as far as like how to treat a woman, how to be in a relationship, things like that, right? At this point in your life, what are you doing actively to get better in that area? So, because I mean, you're saying, yo, like you watch our podcast, you watch other guys' podcasts, and you say, yo, I really love this, right? What are you doing on a day-to-day basis as far as personal development goes to improve in that area?
Man, I'm personal developing all the time. So one, I go to therapy. All right, so therapy is good for me to, one of the reasons why also, I didn't see that it was healthy relationships, but one of the things that was key to me was now addressing why it was so hard for me to be in relationships. So one, my mama went to prison when I was 14. My grandmother died. Those were the 2 most impactful women in my life. And for a moment in my life, I felt like they abandoned me. Right? So I had to deal with that. Yeah. 16, yes, I go to prison for attempt murder, but it's because a woman set me up. You feel me? Yeah. So now not only did I feel like I was abandoned, I felt like I couldn't trust the woman I love, the woman who I was rocking with. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not an excuse now. Just recently on my show, I was like, yo, I forgive you. Like I was like, yo, to the the black man that I shot, bro, I apologize. I know why you did what you did, because we both were products of the same system, the same science. You know what I'm saying? We both were products of it, bro. Man, I know for a while, brother, you was mad at me. I was mad at you, and I carried the fact that I was willing to do that. I carried that. Like, I'm like, yo, man, I know how to regulate. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to forgive that man, and I asked for forgiveness, but then I told a female on my show, I was like, yo, I forgive you. Because just like me and him was products of that, so were you.
Fact.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I had to release that to help me say, okay, let's court someone while I get through my now if I can forgive, it ain't for them, but it's for my freedom. You know what I'm saying? It's for me being able to say, because now that I'm in a successful place I'm in now, if I don't let that go, it becomes even harder for me to trust. It becomes even harder for me to love. It becomes even harder for me to let my guard down, because now I'm gonna be thinking everybody gonna set me up. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the personal development part was going to therapy, but then also seeing people like you talk about your girl, hearing y'all have conversations about women. Another couple that I watch on Instagram, my brother, Mr. 2 Weeks Out, him and his wife, watching them interact. I love that. You know what I'm saying? And I now feel like I can lead I feel like I can lead a family. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, bro, I love that. Like that shit make me smile. Like, yo, one day, I'm gonna lead the shit out of my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like we need more conversations like that from leaders like you, right? So you may not be in a relationship, right? But the desire to lead a family, the desire to be in love, the desire to build something with the woman, right? if we try to make those things cool, young cats will look up to us and say, all right, look, I want to do that, right? I think the key is making it cool.
Yeah.
Right? Because we make it cool, it's easy for people to kind of gravitate towards it, right? And I think that's important, man, especially like people that look up to us, look up to you, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
If we just continue to do that, man, we'll have an army of cats just looking to do right.
So one of my biggest accomplishments so far is co-parenting. I don't think that's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never called my daughter's mama my baby mama.
Okay.
Never did it. I feel like she went through too much.
We had that conversation.
We had a conversation.
Yeah, we had that
never did
conversation.
that. I've never
the
did
importance
that.
of that.
I've never did that. I honor her. Even in our differences, I honor her. Because without my daughter, I don't change my life. Without my daughter, I do not change my life. If I don't have a son, I don't think I change my life. It was something about me having my little girl, pulling her out that womb, looking at her immediately, I was like, yo, she deserved the best version of me.
Wow.
Because, again, let me revert back to prison for a second. I've witnessed some of the most treacherous dudes I've ever met in my life cry because they got life plus 50, 245 years, 99 years, 80 years, but they left a 3-year-old on the street. They left a 4-year-old on the street. They left a 5-year-old on the street, and they'll never touch him again. They'll never see him free again. Another man got to raise him. So when I saw my daughter, immediately I was like, yo, she don't deserve that version of me. And my homie, he was 99 years. He was 18 years old, bro. His 2-year-old came, and I'm talking about he was on a double murder. Bro, when his 2-year-old left, I seen him break down crying. And I was like, bro, what's wrong, bro? He was like, dog, man, people gave me 99 years, back to back. Bro, I ain't never going home. I ain't gonna never see my daughter. And bro, that shook me. He was like, I ain't gonna never see her go to prom. And he went through all the things that he'll never see. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to tell you, bro. But I'm like, damn, that hurt. Like, I'm 18, but that hit me to my core. So when I had my daughter, that was like, okay, boom, yo, we can't, nope, streets gone. I got it. That was the defining moment for me. Fast forward, me and my daughter mom, we worked religiously on our relationship. Like religiously, like learning how to operate amongst one each other, learning how to communicate, me learning how to defuse situations, me learning how, okay, this is not a situation I want to indulge in. So I'll be like, you know what? Yo, let's have this conversation tomorrow. What happens is, and I don't want to say that all women are emotional because men can be emotional too. What happens is when a person is dealing with emotion and a person is trying to deal with logic, the logic will never override the emotion.
Right.
What will happen is the logical person then becomes emotional too. Two emotional people can never make a sound decision. Think about the times where you've been emotional, where you really made the right decision. Very few times have you made the right decision in emotion. Right. So if I see she being emotional, or even if I'm being emotional, I can feel it. I'm like, you know what, yo, let's have this conversation tomorrow. Like, I don't got the capacity to indulge right now.
That's my favorite word. I don't have the capacity.
Yeah, I don't have the capacity. But the dope part about her is she's learned and she'll be like, all right, bet. What happens is we may not even visit tomorrow. We may come back 3 days later, but when we had a situation out, yo, we both on the, yo, what's up? What's happening? So now, the most amazing part to me was I was able to move them from New Orleans to Atlanta.
Okay.
I haven't had sex with my daughter mom in 8 years, bro. Real talk, never touched. Bro, we have such an amazing relationship. And I respect her moving to Atlanta. So I said, yo, I'm gonna put you in your own house. We ain't about to play the game. I'm not about to try to, because I brought you here and I pay the bills, I'm not about to try to dictate what you got going on. I'm here to support you and believe in you the same way you believed in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
okay, so look, I'm gonna go somewhere else, right? I'm gonna go somewhere else, bro. We had this topic a couple months ago, right? We was talking to a young lady. She co-parents just like you, right? And we asked her, yo, what does it mean to be a single mom, right? In your situation, right, where you co-parent with a woman, could she call, or is it okay, or does she call herself a single mom even though you guys are co-parents and even though she's not with you?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard her say it. I don't know if I would feel disrespected if she using the word single as saying like she's not with nobody. I can't relate to that. But what I have between her family, what I will say is she gives me the highest praises.
That's love.
She'll randomly, like, matter of fact, she went to New Orleans. We from New Orleans. She went home like 2 weeks ago, and she was around her cousins. She randomly texted me and was like, bro, I just love you, bro. She's like, man, I appreciate you so goddamn much, dog. And I'm like, man, what you talking about? She was like, man, I'm just listening to my people. And I'm like, damn, I don't gotta go through that.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if she says she's a single mother, but I do know if she is saying it, it's not out of disrespect to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got healthy energy.
Yeah,
bro.
you're like, I don't feel like she's
I gotta tell you this, bro.
Yeah.
You got some healthy motherfucking energy.
Man,
bro.
thank you, brother. I work on it, man.
I definitely want to commend you for that. Because as you're telling me your story, I didn't hear any men involved in your life. In your story. And for you to be that man for your daughter, and for you to be that man for the mother of your child, like, that's extremely impressive. And I know how much work you got to, the same exact way you had to literally turn your entire life around financially and break all those generational curses. You had to do that on the front of being a man as well.
Hell yeah, man.
You know, so that's extremely impressive. Like, learning to be a man on your own in what that looks like, it's difficult. Because I know for me, right, if I'm ever in a situation where I have to co-parent, my dad has never said anything bad about my mom.
Right.
He's always taught me never to say anything bad about my mom. And I can say I don't have an excuse.
Yep.
You did. You had every one of them.
Excuses only sound good to the people who making them. They only sound good to the people who making them. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't never had a father, but guess what? I got a little girl. So every feeling I felt without having a father, I don't want her to feel that. I know how not having a father made me feel. So why would I can't, at some point we gotta like man up. But what I will say is, when I got older, I started seeing healthy relationships. Like, I paid attention to my uncle who's been married to my wife, to his wife. I started paying attention to that relationship. When I first got into this game, I had a close friend of mine who I met. His name Pocky. His name was Hood Estates. I watched him interact with his wife. I watched Eric Thomas now interact with his wife. I watched my homie, Mr. 2 Weeks Out, interact with his wife. I watched Marcus. I watched the people around me interact with their wife. And I'm gonna be real with you. If I'm around somebody and they not interacting with their wife right, I can't tell you nothing, but I don't want to be around you. That ain't the energy I want. Because I don't want you to think it's a safe space to come talk to me about cheating on your wife. Because I don't want you to shift the narrative in my mind. Because I want to be the man. I want I want her to walk around like, yo, my nigga ain't never cheat. I'm have faith in my nigga not cheating on me. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I got faith in that. I put my, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want the people around. I don't want to be the safe space for you, dog.
I would even say, bro, like, I've always said this. I feel like the most successful men have relationships like those. Where they honor their woman. You know what I mean? Where they really, everything they're about, their woman involved as well. They have their women on the pedestal. Right? I feel like that, right? And I have the same reverence to men that do that. Right? If I like, it's just a certain level of respect that I give men, because I know how we are. Right, and I know how much discipline and commitment it takes for that. Right, that's like the highest level of respect a man can have. Right, this dude is committed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna acknowledge you, and I'm gonna cherish you, and I'm gonna champion you more for being this to your woman than I will for just making money.
You know, they say discipline when it comes to your food, you could really dictate somebody. But as I'm growing up being a man, how a man treats his woman, for me, is true discipline.
Absolutely.
Man.
That's really, because like,
Gangster.
That's gangster.
Absolutely.
That's how I always feel. I feel, you know, everybody say, you know, they say, oh yeah, such and such is a real nigga. To me, who you are in the dark, and you the same person in the light, that's how I define a real nigga.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So, mentorship is important to me right now in my life. I need to be around it because I'm learning. I'm evolving, man. And just this week, Eric Thomas, his right-hand man, CJ. So I called CJ. Again, I'm on a journey, bro. Like, I'm really not having sex right now. this ain't me just saying this on camera. Like, I committed to it. Because I want to starve my flesh. I want to starve my flesh so I can get, like, I know there's so much greatness inside of me, right? Like, the stuff that I've accomplished so far, like, that's just to show me that it's possible. So I was talking to CJ, and I went through this moment, I was like fiending. And I know I got people in my phone who will bet. And so I called C. I say, I ain't lying, bro. I just need to talk to you, bro. They in Mexico. They having a whole mastermind.
Yep.
I was like, C, bro, I'm craving sex right now. And I was reading something in the Bible that said a man should have healthy counsel. You should be able to talk to another man and not feel like he gon', man, nigga, go get you something, nigga, with you. When you know that ain't the journey I want to be on right now.
For sure.
So I called C. I say, C, I need you to. All right. So C was like, Trap, check it. He was like, you know what took Malcolm from 50,000 people following him to 500,000 people following him? I love Malcolm X. Between Malcolm X and Fred Hampton, I got him tattooed on my back. That's my favorite black man of all time. I said, man, he was smart, bro. Like, he was like, Trap, he had extreme discipline. I said, damn. I said, but see, how does that? He said, because men will only follow men who they feel can do something that they're not willing to do. But because they're not willing to do it, seeing that man do it makes them strive to do it. So they willing to strive for it. But if you a man that's weak to the flesh, if you a man that's you ain't no better than the men you trying to lead, why would they follow you? Bro, that hit me. And he was like, Trap, you got it. Extreme discipline. I don't gotta pep talk you. You got the urge, but guess what? You stronger than it.
Battery in the back.
Bro, for some reason, I was just like, I ain't bet.
Charge.
I ain't bet. I'm good. So it's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta say no more.
Let me go take this to work,
man. You know what I'm saying, man? It is what it is. So I think what happens is, as men, like you said, man, just having that discipline is what separates the men from the boys. And I when I got off the phone with him, I thought about this in my head. I said, why do people admire athletes so much? They good in football, they good in basketball, they good in boxing, but the underlining thing is, we know they're willing to do whatever it takes, the discipline to be conditioned to play that sport, to be in that ring, to get on that field, to play. Like, we can play ball in the gym, that's cool, but to go be a pro, bro, it takes a whole different level of conditioning and discipline.
Mindset crazy.
That's why we respect it so much. So I'm like, I bet I get it. You know what I'm saying? So the discipline component, man, that's what it is, yo. Like, that takes a man to another level. So if you can be disciplined with your wife, especially in today's world, when everything is a DM away, when everything is an inbox away, when social media now shows you every variety of woman you could desire, it's right there for you, bro. And don't talk about if you a man with a little bit of something, or it's even, so now your discipline really got to kick in. Because I say this, and we could go, but I always say this, like, God has territory for us with our name on it. But in order for us to get to that territory, we have to increase our capacity. And how do we increase our capacity? We got to stand in front of the adversity and then pass it. So if I keep failing the same test, if I, watch this, Saul anointed David as the king, right? Samuel anointed David as the king, and then he knew he was going to take Saul's place. David had multiple times where he could have killed Saul, but he didn't, right? Even when his homies was like, yo, man, we can kill him right now. But David was like, nah, bro, that ain't it. So David cut to him and said, bro, I could have killed you, I'm good. Boom, his territory got increased. So when Saul passed away, David took the throne. So Saul was good at loyalty when it came to murder, honor. But what was his downfall? Flesh. Bathsheba, his best friend wife. He couldn't fight it. He even forced it on it. Would you not honor your king? Would you not be willing to please your king? So what did he do? He sent his best friend to war to get killed because he impregnated his best friend's wife. He tried to force his best friend to have sex with his wife. His best friend was like, nah, yo, I'm committed to the journey. I'm committed. Yo, I'm going to die for this. So because his best friend ain't want to have sex with his own wife and he knew he impregnated his wife, what'd he do? He write a letter to the general. Yo, go send him into the middle of the wall and leave him there. He killed his own best friend because he couldn't beat the flesh. Loyalty and honor on one behalf wasn't it. It was the lust. So for men, in order for us to increase our territory, bro, we got to increase our capacity, no matter what that be, no matter what that is. And if we can keep on increasing that capacity, we can keep on conquering new territory, man.
Come on, bro.
You said you're not really into the word like that. I beg to differ, fam. You said I'm just a believer in God, but man, you seem like you a follower too, man.
I am.
Yeah.
There's so many stories in there for us to relate to. That's why I read. I think, the Bible, the Quran, there's so many amazing stories in there for us to use in everyday life. Again, I ain't perfect, but every time I'm trying to figure something out, I go to my mentors so they can tell me something I can go to. Oh, okay, bet TD Jake said this, let me go here. E.T. said this, yo, let me go there. So I'm going to use that so I always got something to fight with. You know what I'm saying? And I want to fight this battle so I can become the greatest version of me, man, and impact people.
Yeah, man. All right, so Trap, bro. So what are three pieces, what are three pieces of financial advice that you would give someone with minimal financial literacy or minimal financial resources?
Invest much as you can. 2, banks are not the safest places to have your money. And 3, start working on your kids right now, putting them in position. Because when we look at wealth, the term generational wealth has been used so much in our culture, in our society. But guess what? Generational wealth is saying, I'm willing to put the next generation in position. So my thing is, you ain't always got to be right, but get in position, right? So for me, it's, I'm investing for my daughter every month. I don't care what the money is. I don't care what the amount is. And I just saw something on TV with Bernard Arnault. It's the guy who owns LVMH. He's the richest man in the world right now. The LVMH stock is 198. But he put a clause for his kids, because they own 70% of the company stock. He put a clause in there for his kids that they can't sell the stock for 30 years. Now, what does that mean? That means that company's net worth is going to increase significantly over the course of 30 years. But then there's another clause, because after those 30 years, they can only sell a certain amount because they got to pass it down to the next generation. Right? So when we look at Jay right now, we like, yep, Jay putting Blue Ivy in position. He putting the kids in position, but we don't know what they going to look like running a family. So you got to put clauses in place to make sure what you work for doesn't diminish. So the bank is not the safest place for your money. Invest as much as you can, but man, put your kids in position to win, man.
Right.
That's what the
could
hard
you
work
put
for.
a clause in, like if I'm Jay-Z, I could put a clause in for like the next 100 years, even when I'm gone?
Hell yeah, man. That's when you start putting the trust in place, right? You start saying, so for me, I own 40 acres of land, right? So I was like, check this. We put a clause in place that my daughter can't sell that. She can't sell it. You know what I'm saying? Because that 40 acres got to be there. I don't want you to sell that. Right. So now I have control even if once I'm dead and gone. You know what I'm saying? But in case something happened to me right now, I'm all right. Like, she good. But as she get older, I can start teaching her, this what the land is. So we own the mineral rights. We own the water rights. We own the timber rights. We own the top of the land and the bottom of the land. So God forbid something happened to me before I can explain that to her, you ain't never getting rid of that. You ain't never getting rid of that. So it's putting things in place for the generations that come behind you.
That's legacy.
That's legacy, man. That's what I'm on, man. Legacy work, man. Legacy work. Because what happens when you work so hard and then I can't tell you what I'm going to do when I'm gone. I don't work hard to put millions of dollars into my family last name, turn my last name into an asset. And because I ain't give you the financial knowledge, because God said my time is up, I ain't had time to dig it into you and put it in you. You gonna blow that. If I give you $1 million and you don't know what to do, you gonna blow that.
Guaranteed.
That's what happened with the Vanderbilts.
That's a fact.
Right? This man was the richest man in the world at one point, but nobody never talks about him no more. Why? Because once he passed away, the generations behind him, they blew it. They blew it. They blow it. Now, Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt, but they blew it. But you know about the Rockefellers. You know about the Rothschilds. Why? You know about Sam Walton. Why? Because they family still holding it down.
Yep.
Man, we can do the same thing. We ain't no different. The blueprint the same. So that's just the journey I'm on. Like, I don't care about, I want to make sure my little one good for generations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Bro,
man.
that's amazing, bro. That's blessed us.
Yeah, man. I appreciate
Hey,
y'all.
powerful, man. Like I said before, man, I just get a bunch of just positive vibes from you.
Yeah, man.
Healthy energy, healthy
Hell yeah,
energy.
man.
And we honored, bro. We honored.
Man,
fellas.
likewise, man. I appreciate y'all for having me here, man. Thank y'all. And then whenever I'm out here, man, listen, let's
Tap in.
Oh no, you got to tap in.
let's run it
in.
back.
Oh,
Yeah,
Let's run it back. We got to break.
Let's run it back.
I know he got some courtside tickets to the game, but
yeah, man.
we got to break bread next time you in the
Yeah.
city for sure.
For sure, man. Thank y'all for having me, and I appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely. Listen, y'all, man, really appreciate you guys for watching. If you're tapping in right now, go ahead and screenshot this right now, put on your story, tag myself at Duke, tag Omar at Omar.Bowden, Jalan at just.Jalan, and WallStreet Trapper, how you spell it?
Wall_street_trapper.
Cool. Make sure you are tapped in with us on all social platforms, all streaming platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that's YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure you guys also comment in the YouTube right now. Let us know your favorite part. Let us know what you thought about the show. And yeah, man, until next time, much love, much gratitude. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan,
The boy, the Wall Street Trapper.
and this is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old now, don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand.